I have a friend from communist Romania, and she told me recently that in communist Romania they always told them that everything was fine, fine, but it wasn't fine. She said she hears that now here in the United States that everything is just fine, but it's not fine here either. It's getting more like communist Romania here in the United States, according to her. In Nazi Germany, the church said everything was fine, fine. Also, all the while, Hitler occupied the Oval Office. Everything was not fine, fine. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a Lutheran minister in Germany in the time of Nazi Germany, founded the Confessing Church. It was an underground movement within the world to counter both church, state, and many of the people who were asleep at the time. In our time, most of us we were just trying to live our lives, but suddenly saving life as we know it has turned into an underground resistance program. Welcome. Welcome to Illinois Bridging Awareness. I'm Stanley Smith. If we listen to people, we can hear that things things are not fine, fine. And at the same time, we want to, lift up people and inspire and encourage. It's it's a quandary. Lisa Edwardson said recently that we want to do so much to help because there's so much that needs to be done, but at the same time, we kind of feel like we just want to crawl into a hole and hide. For some, it's the dark night of the soul. We all totally get that. At Illinois Bridging Awareness, we've been exploring the topic of trauma and healing, that it's a cyclical process and not necessarily a linear journey. History tells us this, and so does the story of our own lives. If we look at it closely, it's hard to see God in the dark night of the soul, but that's exactly where he is. We've also talked about choices on the Saturday call, making choices. And we've discussed that God wants us to choose to have a human experience, both for good and for bad, because that's exactly what it is. We have our circulatory system and our lymphatic system. We have our immune system and our autoimmune system. We have both health and illness. It's literally the breathing in and breathing out of our existence. If we're seeing a lot of darkness, perhaps it's because there's also a lot of light coming into the world. It seems perverse, but it could be a way of looking at things. We don't necessarily need to figure it all out. We just need to live, live it all out. That's why it's so good to hear other people, because in hearing we hear other people's stories. We hear about the living it out. It's encouraging, inspiring, and often very, very touching because it touches our humanity. When Dietrich Bonhoeffer founded the Confessing Church, that was his way of doing that in his time. He was both doing and being. The doing of countering evil in his time through the being of being a faithful person in combination and in communion with others. Being faithful is something we can do individually, and being in communion is something we can all do together simply by being together and sharing. If you'd like to join us on the Saturday call at Illinois Bridging Awareness, the Saturday call is every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will be happy to include my email in the description of this video. I'll be pleased to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.